22. 22 injuries in 11 days. You guys want to also know what else is pretty funny? Stack the Pelicans and the Jazz game on the night slate. Random, massive blowout. Only play Smart, LeBron, and who'd have? I think Blake Griffin for the late game. Overtime. 2-point spread. Everyone absolutely smashing. Lauri Markkanen smashing. Just low on Markkanen, breaking the slate. Random blowout. Oh, a 4-point spread. 4-point spread. Random, massive blowout. Chalk Harden goes for 10 steals and shoots 110% from the field. Okay. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make posts on a subreddit called DF Sports. DF Sports with one S, so DF Sports here. It's called Locks of the Day. I make posts for NBA and NFL. I answer all of your questions. You can talk strategy with people, ask questions on pivots, etc. I'll always respond to you. If you ever need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me through Reddit Messenger, or you can get a hold of me on Twitter at ToryLangley1992. Let's go over my lineup from tonight. Where do we start? Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton. 40% of the field faded DeAndre Ayton tonight. Injured. 22nd injury for me in 11 days. Low-owned Mikal Bridges. 60% of the field faded Mikal Bridges tonight. Shot 0 of 153 shooting. Where else do we go? Low-owned Malcolm Brogdon. Gets benched. Low-owned Joel Embiid. On pace to absolutely break the slate. Random massive blowout. Does not touch the court in the fourth. But Chalk Harden plays in the blowout. Low-owned or high-owned Chris Middleton. Random massive blowout. Low-owned Chalk Carter. Random massive blowout. Chris Paul was good. Woohoo! So the core that I had for today: Chris Paul, Javon Carter, Mikal Bridges, and DeAndre Ayton. Just a whole fat whiff. A whole freaking fat whiff. There's never a time where at least 3 of the people in my core absolutely smash. Got 2 out of 4 tonight. Or I guess 3 out of 4. Paul, smash. Carter was over 5x. Bridges, 5x. DeAndre Ayton was the terrible one. So 3 out of 4, but I want to drink bleach. Do you guys know a good chaser for that? Is orange juice good with that? But still, it's winners. And guys, I don't know what goes on in my Discord, but it's just absolutely crazy. I don't understand what you guys are doing in here. But I love you guys. I don't know what you're doing. But if you guys are interested in joining my Discord, I'll have a link to that below, where I have in-depth videos going over each slate, player pools for cash GPPs, cores for cash GPPs, and a lot more. Do NFL as well. So yeah, end the 4-day cashing streak for NBA. Knew it was going to happen at one point, so hopefully we bounce back for tomorrow. Let's go over this NBA slate for tomorrow. Hopefully I don't get my 23rd injury. That would be nice. All right, guys, I'm gonna make this quick. I'm just so tilted, man. Detroit at Charlotte. So, Charlotte. We'll go over this fucking rotation in a second. I'm just so annoying. Charlotte's 15th in pace, 25th in defensive rating. I mean, what is Casey doing? This whole team is filled with young players outside of Bojan Bogdanovic. Bojan is basically their oldest player, and yet he's playing the most minutes. And you have your young talent in Jaden Ivey. You have your young talent in guys like this, but you're gonna dust off Corey Joseph. You're gonna dust off what? Who even else? I don't even know who they're dusting off right now. You're gonna dust off Bog. Like, come on, man. Like it's extremely hard to get to any of these guys. They're just not playing over 25 minutes. 25 minutes for Ivy, 25 minutes for Hayes, Isaiah Stewart, 25 minutes. They're all just sitting at the 25-minute mark. 25 minutes for Bay. Look, they're all at 25. Bagley, 25. Jalen Duren, 25. So honestly, right now, Detroit is a whole fade for me. Centers have been absolutely destroying the Charlotte Hornets, so I definitely do have some interest in Jalen Duren. But if you lock up your center spot early, you're kind of going to be fucked because there is some late news that I'll go over in a bit that might lock up the center position and other positions as well. So, while I do think Jalen Duren is a good play in a phenomenal matchup, he's such a good rebounder. He's going to absolutely destroy the Charlotte front court. While I do think he's a good play, I think the opportunity cost of locking up your center spot early might not be worth it. So Duren, definitely my favorite play on Detroit. If you think Bog keeps playing 35 minutes, I like him, but minutes are going to be all over the place. So it's really up to you on if you want to take that risk. So yeah, Dwayne Casey should be fired. Send him to the moon. It's an absolute disgrace what he's doing. It's disgusting. 17th in pace for Detroit. They're just terrible defensively as well. 29th in defensive rating. If you guys don't know, I have no filter. I tilt a lot. If you don't want to hear the tilt and shit like that, this ain't the channel for you. So find another one. But LaMelo going to be out, Gordon Hayward out, Dennis Smith Jr. out, Cody Martin going to continue to be out. It's a good matchup here. I think Rozier and Oubre are both solid plays. They're both going to play like close to 40 minutes. They're both going to dominate the usage. I think Rozier definitely has the higher floor. I think Kelly Oubre has the higher ceiling. I still think I prefer Rozier to Oubre now that the prices are getting closer, but I think both are solid plays. Mason Plumlee at this price tag, he's been really, really good, but I think he's appropriately priced. But it's crazy seeing Mason Plumlee at 6.1K. It's absolutely wild. But he deserves it, man. He's been playing extremely well. A good rebounder, has double upside. I've gotten burned by it. I've taken his under on rebounds like 2 times in the past week, and he's just absolutely sent me to the moon. So Plumlee's fine if you want to go there at that price tag. I think I prefer the price on PJ Washington. He'll play low to mid 30s minutes. He won't be as productive as Mason Plumlee, but I might prefer the discount there. And then I don't think I can get to anyone else. Jalen McDaniels is appropriately priced for me. So it's really just Rozier, Oubre, and then Plum Dog and PJR secondary plays for me. So Atlanta at Orlando. Good matchup here for Atlanta. Orlando's 25th in pace, and they're bad. 26th in defensive rating. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the Trae Young news here. If he is in, I do like Trae Young as a spend-up. I think he stands out as one of the better spend-ups on the slate. Just going to dominate the usage with no DeJounte Murray. Double upside. One of the highest usage rates with no Murray. So I do like Trae Young if he plays. Clint Capella, just there for me. He's probably going to play around 30 minutes. Does have a ceiling, but more often than not, he's just going to barely reach value. And at this price, you kind of need like 45 to 50 for him to take down. So if he's only going to play 30 minutes, I think that's like a 5%, 1 to 5% outcome. So for single entry players like myself, it's really hard to get to him. If Trae is in, now that these guys are priced up, there aren't really any standouts outside of Bogdan Bogdanovic. I still think he's a really, really good play, even if Trae plays. 5K is just too cheap for him. His minutes cap is off. Extremely high usage. He'll run that second unit as well. So I love Bog, even if Trae Young plays. And then I'm off the secondary plays. If Trae Young is in, I think they're just all priced appropriately. Unless we get news that like Hunter's not going to be on a limit anymore, I think he'd be fine. But he's on a limit right now. But if Trae is out, then you can consider Capella. But then we're gonna have the value in like AJ Griffin, Hunter, Bog would be the best play on the slate if Trae Young's out. It wouldn't even be close. And then we're gonna have like value of like AJ Griffin, DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, Trent Forrest, Aaron Holiday. He did play a lot in the blowout in the fourth quarter, but these would all be viable values. They're not standout values now at their respective prices, but they are firmly in play. Like if Trae Young's out, we get news that Hunter's going to be off his limit and play over 30 minutes. I definitely do like him at 5.3K. And then like these guys, they're probably going to play, over 30 minutes. Aaron Holiday got there in the blowout last game, so be a little bit careful there. But they would all be firmly in play. I'll make updates when we get that news, and then when I look at projections, I'll tell you which I like point per dollar. If you guys remember to ask me tomorrow, definitely do ask me that tomorrow. Atlanta's 7th in pace and 14th in defensive rating. So no standouts here. Once again, minutes all over the place for these guys. Like I don't know why Bol went from playing high 30s minutes to now basically only playing around 20 minutes. Mo Wagner got into massive foul trouble last game. I think normally for him, he's probably going to play, low to mid 30s minutes. I think he's fine. Franz had a big game last game, I believe, but 2 back-to-back big games, but I still think he's appropriately priced. Banchero's been a letdown of late. No standouts, really. I think the guards are what looks best to me. I think Markelle Fultz at 4.9K is an interesting GPP play. But when I play him, randomly, he has his season low in minutes. But all the other games, he's playing 30 minutes, 28 minutes in massive foul trouble, 25 minutes in foul trouble. It's just unbelievable. I know he got into a little bit of foul trouble the game I played him, but I think it's an interesting GPP play. Cole Anthony, you guys know this guy has caused me incredible amounts of pain, but I think he's a fine secondary play. Like if you land on him as a last man in, I'm definitely okay with it. Let's go over to the Warriors. So really good matchup here. Pacers are 5th in pace and 21st in defensive rating. So this is a back-to-back. I don't remember if Clay rested on his last back-to-back. I would assume he did. But we're just going to assume everyone is in here. Steph always has a ceiling for tournaments. Phenomenal matchup. Game will probably blow out, though. But I always like Steph for GPPs just because that ceiling is always there. Jordan Poole, if Steph is in, is fish food at this price tag. Clay, 7.1K, doesn't stand out. Just there for me. Wiggins is out. I think Draymond is a fine play at 6.2K, but once again, I don't think has the ceiling to win. You had GPP on this 10-game slate. Kevon Looney at 5.5K just doesn't make sense to me. What is Draftkings doing here? What are they doing? You saw Kuminga have a big game. Why is he up to 5.2K? I don't understand it. Overpriced, fish food. Dante had a good game. He's overpriced, fish food. I don't understand what's going on with these prices. I really don't. Extremely hard for me personally to get to them, but I'll somehow wake up tomorrow, and they'll all project amazing and be chalk somehow. Let's go over this. The Pacers. Warriors are first in pace. 20th in defensive rating. So I like Halliburton here. He shot 0 of 9. No one's going to play him after a dud. That Miami game scored 82 to 87. That is absolutely unreal, man. I've been targeting players against the Warriors all season long, and it's been extremely profitable here. I like Halliburton a lot for GPPs. No one's going to play him. Double-double upside pretty much every slate. He's pretty much a lock for a double-double. Going to lead this team in offense. Going to lead this team in probably shots taken. It's a good matchup, so sign me up for some Halliburton tomorrow. I think he's too cheap. Miles Turner going to play low to mid-30s minutes. He's just there for me. Fine if you land on him as last man and completely okay with it. Buddy Hield has been playing well of late, but 6.5K, once again, too pricey. Not much else, man. Let's go over the Knicks. So, a lot to keep an eye on here. Well, not a lot, but I'll give you guys the inside info because apparently nobody else knows this that I've seen. Bulls 8th in pace, 7th in defensive. So I don't know why people are saying Brunson is questionable. He's in a literal boot. He's in a boot. He's not going to be playing. I would put money that Brunson is not going to be playing tomorrow. But yeah, we're gonna go over it assuming Brunson is out, and if he's out, then just huge juice punt for everyone. Randall, RJ, both look good. Quickly, gonna start most likely. He would look like a very good play. Mitchell Robinson, I don't even hate it this price tag. Has a ceiling. Always in foul trouble though. Just be a little bit careful. But yeah, man, I like the four main guys here. Quentin Grimes is playing huge minutes. I don't hate that. Priced about right for me though. Miles McBride's been in the rotation. Just a dart, but a playable value. If you think Mitchell Robinson gets into foul trouble, you can consider a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein, who's a really good point per minute guy. So, assuming Brunson's out, there's a lot to like here for the Knicks. Like Randall, like RJ. RJ played 44 minutes in regulation last game, so I don't think a lot of people are going to click on his name at that price tag, and I think that might be a mistake. So, assuming Brunson's out, like pretty much everyone on the Knicks, like Randall, like RJ, like Quickly, like Mitch, Grimes is fine. So, like the whole starting five for the Knicks tomorrow. And I don't think a lot of people will. I assume they'll get ownership, but I don't think they're going to be like massive chalk. They might be. I could be wrong though. Knicks, they play slow. Where are the Knicks? They playing faster this year. There's no chance. 13th in pace, while they are 11th in defensive rating. So, at these respective prices, I think the three main guys look solid here. DeMar, Zach LaVine, Vooch, I think are all solid plays. If I had to prefer 1 point per dollar, I might prefer Vooch, but then once again, you're giving up the opportunity cost at value center that we'll go over in a little bit. Unfortunate that Zach LaVine lost shooting forward eligibility. That would be clutch, but I think all three of the main guys look solid here. Caruso is going to be probable. He'll probably play close to 30 minutes. Fine value. Patrick Williams, more out there for his defense, but he'll play close to 30 minutes. I think he's a fine value. So, and I'll mention Andre Drummond, who's been playing, 15-ish minutes. Extremely good point per minute guy. Can absolutely break the slate. Definitely some interest there. Sacramento at Toronto. So really tough spot here for Sacramento. But yeah, Raptors, they just play good defense. They play slow, 24th in pace. Very, very good defensively, 9th in defensive rating. So this is not a spot that I really want to target. Sabonis, Fox, they're fine GPP plays. Kevin Huerter, I think, had a good game tonight. But, did he get injured? I could have swore like 5 minutes into the game he had 9 fantasy points. Did he get injured tonight? But not much here outside of the top two guys. Not much at all. I think Sacramento is basically a full fade for me tomorrow. Really good spot here for the Raptors. Sacramento 6th in pace and 16th in defensive rating. So OG is going to continue to be out. Pressure's out. Otto Porter Jr. out. Bo Cruz, questionable. Doesn't really matter too much. So Siakam, Fred VanVleet, like Scotty Barnes, has a ceiling. He's fine. He'll play huge minutes, but I definitely do prefer Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam. I think they both make for two pretty good plays in this matchup. So like both the top two guys here for Toronto. Chris Boucher played 28 minutes last game. If we're going to get 28 minutes from Chris Boucher, I think he's a pretty good play. Just be careful. Minutes are all over the place. It'll kind of be of an ownership thing for me. If Chris Boucher is going to be chalk tomorrow, that's chalk I'll gladly fade. If he's going to be like, 20%, 25% or lower, then I'm going to be all over that. So I do like Chris Boucher a lot for GPPs tomorrow. Gary Trent Jr. started. He played 44 minutes. We're going to get 44 minutes of Gary Trent Jr. at 5.7K. Solid play as well. They're just too cheap with the amount of minutes they're going to be playing. So, like Toronto quite a bit tomorrow. On to Miami. So good spot here up against Oklahoma. Oklahoma is 4th in pace and 17th in defensive rating. So Jimmy Butler's going to be out. Tyler Herro's everyone else is probable. So I don't know how you don't like Miami tomorrow. Bigs against Oklahoma City have been absolutely destroying. So like Bam a lot at 8.3K. Tyler Herro going to do everything for the team. Probably play close to like 100 minutes. I think he looks good. Kyle Lowry is a fine play at 6.5K. Prefer Tyler Herro though. And then Martin Strauss, they're going to start, but at their respective prices. Just secondary plays for me. Old Depot, he'll probably play low 20s minutes. Just a dart. And then not much else really for me on the Miami side. So just the main guys really for Miami that I think look good. Oklahoma 4th in pace. Sorry guys, we already said Oklahoma. Miami 28th in pace and 8th in defensive rating. So SGA's price went down. He's matchup proof. Like him for GPPs. Went for 42 real life points. Still put up 54 fantasy points while having only 3 assists and 2 rebounds. That's definitely an outlier. Usually he's going to stuff the stat sheet a little bit more. He'll play huge minutes. So I do like the upside for SGA. Even in a shit matchup, no one's going to be on him. Going to anyone else is extremely tough. The minutes are all over the place, so if you want to take a shot on like a Poku with no JRE, be my guest, but be prepared for him to get benched at halftime. Same with guys like, like JRE's out. Like, Jalen Williams. Now, they're not going to bench Jalen. He's playable. But like Giddy, like they benched him at halftime, so it's extremely hard to go to anyone else outside of SGA. I will say Darius Baisley is the flat man. He'll be in the rotation for sure. Minutes wise, I don't really know, but he's actually a good point per minute guy. Definitely if you're 150 maxing, I would have some Baisley in my player pool, but really hard to go there if you're a single entry guy. Really good matchup here for Portland. Spurs play fast. They play no defense. 9th in pace and last in defensive rating. So if this game stays close, you could absolutely see Damian Lillard absolutely nuke the slate tomorrow. So I think Lillard, personally, for me, is one of my favorite spend-ups tomorrow. Simons, too pricey for me. Grant, no thank you. Nurkic, minutes been down, hard to go there. Winslow, he'll probably play 25 to 30 minutes, a playable value, but not much outside of Damian Lillard for me. So, yeah. Portland, they play slow, 27th in pace. Middle of the road defensively, 23rd in defensive rating. So, Jakob Poeltl out. Zach Collins is doubtful. Keita Bates-Diop is questionable. So, Josh Richardson is questionable. So, it's really hard to say right now. Assuming Collins is out, I think Keldon Vassell, Trey Jones are all fine GPP plays. They're not going to play huge minutes, which is definitely offsetting and kind of sucks, but I think they're all fine GPP plays. Keldon definitely being my favorite. I think Trey Jones is a little bit easier to get to because he's cheaper, but Keldon has the shooting forward eligibility. Same with Vassell having shooting guard, shooting forward eligibility. So I think they're fine just GPP plays for me. I don't think I'm going to be going out of my way to prioritize them, but they're fine for me if I land on them. So we all know we're going to get trolled by Pop tomorrow. We all know. The logical thing to do would be to start Charles Bassey. The logical thing to do would be start Charles Bassey. Last time this situation happened, they started Gorgie Dieng. He's been out of the rotation, I believe, right? The logical thing to do would be to start Charles Bassey, but we all know Popovich is going to absolutely shoot us in the face and troll us. I will say this. Even if Bassey comes off the bench, I still think he's a good value. I still think he's going to play a decent amount. But if he starts, I think he's one of the best or one of the better value plays on the slate. So assuming he starts, love Bassey. These guys like Sochan, McDermott, they're playable. But I don't think we need to go there on the slate. So just the main guys and Bassey for me. Let's go over Cleveland. Tough spot here against Dallas. Dallas is 29th in pace. Hello? Excuse me. 29th in pace, Dallas is, and they are for the both are good defensively. What is going on here? Where are they? Where are they? 19th in defensive rating. So no standouts here for me in a tough matchup. Mitchell, Garland, no thank you. Mobley, Jared Allen, they're fine. Prefer Allen to Mobley. Levert's pricey. I will say Kevin Love at 4.1K is definitely intriguing. Minutes, he's not going to play a lot, but there are scenarios where he's going to play over 20 minutes. Just know, more often than not, he's not going to play over 20 minutes. But thought I'd mention that at 4.1K. If he plays over 20 minutes, he'd probably be in my lineup. I will say that. Do what you want with that info. But extremely risky. Extremely risky. Tough matchup here for Dallas. We're just going to... Luka, matchup proof. Looks good. If you feel comfortable with the value, I like Luka. Nothing else for me. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a fine tournament play. Washington at Denver. So tough matchup here for Washington. Denver, they play slow. 23rd in pace. They play good defense. Whereas Denver, are they down in defense this year? No shot. They don't play good defense. 28th in defensive rating. So it's just hard to say. Porzingis got injured last game. He's questionable. Bradley Beal's questionable. Monte Morris is questionable. I'll say this. If they're all in, I don't want to play anyone on Washington. They're all priced up from when they were all out. But if we get a situation where they are all out, then you're going to have Gafford become one of the best value plays on the slate. You're going to have Will Barton become a good play at 4.8K. You're going to have Jordan Goodwin be a viable option at 5.6K. You're going to have Kyle Kuzma dominating the usage, who I think would be a really good play at 9K. So this is a lot of news to keep an eye on, and it's the late game. So I think this is where we could possibly get our edge, and I think I'm willing to risk it tomorrow. Like, I will take the chance to get a low on Barton and Kuzma and Gafford at the possibility to get these guys low owned than to torch my money on fire. I will gladly take that chance. So that's all I'm saying. That's how I play GPPs. I'm willing to light my money on fire to get those guys low owned. So that's all I'm going to say. That's how I'll be playing it tomorrow. I'm going to leave some spots to make pivots. So good matchup here. Where's Washington? 20th in pace. They are in 22nd defensive rating. So whoever starts at center tomorrow, Jokic is going to be able to feast. I definitely do prefer him to Luka, point per dollar. So I do love Jokic tomorrow. Murray, nothing else really. Just Jokic for me. Last game here, guys. Clippers 22nd in pace, 5th in defensive rating. So Cat's out. We have D'Lo questionable. If he's in, Rudy Gobert and D'Lo, I think all look good here once again. I don't think they priced them up enough. Rudy Gobert and D'Lo definitely being my favorite. Ant would still be in play. Kyle Anderson's been playing really well of late, playing huge minutes. I think he's still fine, even at 5.6K. With McLaughlin out, you can take a shot on Jalen Noel, who will probably play mid-20s minutes. I don't hate that. Like the good thing with this is, if D'Lo is out, Jalen Noel is going to be an absolute smash value. And if D'Lo is in, he's still playable regardless. So what I would suggest you guys to do is have Noel in your lineups tomorrow. And if D'Lo is in, he's still fine regardless. So I think that's a way to go about it. So I like that, doing that play. But if D'Lo is out, Anthony Edwards looks amazing. Rudy Gobert looks even better. Kyle Anderson looks even better. Jalen Noel becomes the best play on the slate. Would absolutely love him. I'd assume he'd start. McDaniels gets a boost. He's been god-awful of late, but he'd be fine. So a lot to like with Minnesota potentially tomorrow. It's going to be about this late news, and we're definitely going to have to capitalize on it. Timberwolves second in pace, 18th in defensive rating. So Kawhi going to still be limited. Paul George is off his limit. No standouts here. Paul George, Kawhi, I'm perfectly fine if you want to take a shot on them in game stack. It's a good environment. And then nothing else really for me. Batum's playable value, but outside of that, not much else. I hope this helped you guys out, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow.